Going all morning is the chaos that's erupted yesterday in Sandton on the M1 highway in Johannesburg when a bridge collapsed there. It'll only be reopened before peak traffic this afternoon following that collapse at Sandton on the M1 near Johannesburg yesterday. Traffic is very congested this morning and commuters are being urged to use alternative transport. All Gautrain bus services will be free of charge. Putco buses also running free of charge from Soweto. This includes monthly ticket holders. Metro buses into Sandton from Gandhi Square, Midrand, Sunninghill and Westgate will also be free. A temporary pedestrian bridge near the Grayston Off-ramp collapsed, killing 3 people. For the latest from Sandton, we now cross over to Njanji Chauke. Njanji, give us an update as to the developments that have happened this morning.
Thanks for joining us here in Sandton. Actually joining us is some of the people that, fortunate enough, they were not here when the bridge collapsed. Believe it or not, these people behind me here say they were saved by the anti-corruption march that was taking place in downtown Johannesburg. They say if it wasn't for that march, they would probably have been killed here, as there are some of the people that had to come and work here. Joining me now is Bongani, one of the workers here. Tell me, how do you think the anti-corruption march saved your life?
It saved us a lot because we had to go there and march for corruption. We decided in the first place that in the morning we could come and work until 12 o'clock and leave. But unfortunately, we said no, because it's a national thing. We must go to the march, so it saved us.
And how did you feel about the incident that took place, considering that you still have to carry on working here? This was a very important structure that was being erected here.
It's very painful because some people died here. And another thing is, but we are a subcontractor, a Greneka LTA. Mari and Robert, I feel sorry for them because they need to answer many questions now in terms of design and everything, and how competent they are in terms of building bridges like this. So yeah, they are accountable. So I'm very sorry to the people who lost their lives, but the bridge needs to be built again.
Okay. And then just going back to the issue yesterday, meaning that if you didn't go to that anti-corruption march, you would probably have been injured or even maybe at the worst killed here.
Yes, we will be killed because this bridge collapsed exactly where we will be working yesterday. We're into the borehole on the test pile where we will be drilling. So it's exactly, it collapsed exactly there. So the anti-corruption march helped us a lot. It just happened automatically.
Oh, there you have it from Bongani Joja, one of the construction workers that was supposed to be here yesterday, busy with construction, but fortunate enough they had to go to downtown Johannesburg to attend that anti-corruption march in Johannesburg, so that saved his life, according to him and other people. It's back to studio.
All right, there we go. And Njanji Chauke, thank you very much. Talking to some of the construction workers there. Oh, it's amazing. Anti-corruption march saving some of their lives, as they put it. Let's go to Rob Byrne quickly. Let's get an update from him as to how the traffic is looking in the area. All right, he's not on the line right now, but we will try and get him. Let's just put up those visuals once again, just so you can get an idea as to the traffic situation in the Sandton area. Well, this isn't the traffic situation, but this is what's happening with regard to some of the clearing up operations that's taking place. The bridge collapse in Sandton. How devastating is that shot? That was one of the cars that was obviously passing under the bridge at the time of its collapse, and I mean you can see the problem that one would face going under the heavy steel structure, crashing down onto a vehicle, and no doubt, I mean we're not too certain of those people that have lost their lives, but I mean just looking at a vehicle like that, I'm not too sure, but I do know that until I think it was 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock last night, there were still operations to try and remove the people that may have been trapped under that bridge, and also some of the vehicles as well. But really a devastating shot there, just bringing home the reality of what happened yesterday in Sandton over the Grayston Bridge. Let's move over to some visuals that we recorded from our helicopter. This, of course, being recorded a little bit earlier this morning. And you can see this is around about sunrise time. But look at the traffic and the dead standstill that the traffic was at. And this is something that really I think people need to take into accommodation when they are going into the area of Sandton. Whether you are in this particular area, well, this is where you are working, but just take heed of all of the routes that have been closed, the metro bus service that have offered. I'm going to again repeat some of the plans, the contingency plans that have been made. All Gautrain bus services free of charge. Putco buses also running free of charge from Soweto. This includes the monthly ticket holders. Also confirmed metro buses into Sandton from Gandhi Square, Midrand, Sunninghill and Westgate will also be free. One thing I do have to state, however, is that Uber, they were giving free services yesterday. That is not running today. That was just for yesterday to try and alleviate the situation. They say they are monitoring today to see how things go, and if need be, they will reintroduce that. But as of today, Uber services are not free. It is the bus services that have been announced that have been free. These have also all been confirmed by the city of Johannesburg. Our mayor talking to us here on the program, talking to us about the partnerships that have been created by some of the private companies who really have come to try and help and alleviate the situation. So Sandton traffic, an area that if you can, to try and avoid, it really would be of great importance to try and alleviate the situation. Of course, if you need to go there, that's a different story. Murray and Roberts also talking to us on the program. They have conducted or are conducting their own investigation into the incident together with the Department of Labour. They're going to be having a look and seeing what some of the things that are going to be probing into that. So they are conducting an investigation. At this point, they cannot speculate at what happened. That's the official view from them. They say that the company launched an independent probe into the cause of the collapse yesterday, in which 3 people were killed and more than 20 injured. The road remains closed but is expected to be opened a little bit later on. We did have on the program the CEO of Murray and Roberts, Henry Lars. He did say that it wasn't necessarily the bridge that collapsed, but the actual the undercarriage of the bridge, the structure that was holding up the bridge that collapsed. And many people saying it doesn't really matter, it's still part of the bridge that actually did collapse. It didn't matter which part of it. So again, just to conclude with Murray and Roberts, they're leading it on behalf of the authorities, and they will provide them with all of the information. This is Murray and Roberts, support and systems that we can, but independent from that investigation, we're conducting our own investigation where we've called in services of forensic consulting engineers and also consultants that specialize in this type of investigation. That's Henry Lars, the CEO of Murray and Roberts, talking to us earlier on the program. Let's now go and get another update. Gillian Pillay is our other reporter that's been there since the early hours of this morning covering the story. Gillian, I know that you spoke earlier to our Mayor Parkstown. We're talking 3 people being killed. However, he's not confirming it. He's a little bit sort of resistant to confirm this third person. Yeah. Can you give us another update?
Welcome back, Leanne. Welcome back here to the scene. As you said earlier, we did talk to Parkstown and we did ask him the question about reports that were making the rounds regarding a third fatality. He couldn't be drawn into it. He said it's unconfirmed. They're yet to get confirmation of that. He also indicated that his delegation, he together with the delegation, will be going to the hospitals where the injured are being treated, and also just to get clarity on a third fatality. And I mean, it's very difficult at this stage when maybe family members haven't been informed of the status of a third fatality. So yes, we are in a similar predicament as the rest of the media here. We suspect that there could be a third fatality, but we're yet to get confirmation of that. Just to give you a sense, Leanne, you know, a lot of the reports that we're going to bring through to you will be around the operations. As the mayor had said earlier, there's been a lot of movement. There continues to be a lot of movement of the debris being taken off the highway here. I'm not sure if you can see. I'm going to move aside just so that you can get a sense of what has been happening over the course of the morning. You can see on the side there's a lot of the scaffolding that has been removed from the highway and put onto the side here. As you can also hear, there's a lot of movement from a helicopter, and it's probably people or media houses getting some sort of aerial view of operations here, and that is the kind of work that we'll see happening here over the course of the morning, Leanne.
Gillian, a bit earlier, and perhaps you can just put me in a little bit of perspective. We were showing a visual of a vehicle that obviously, I mean, this was a vehicle that was crushed by the scaffolding that had fallen onto it. Is that still there, or has that vehicle now been moved away? Because I know that there's been clean-up operations throughout the night. That vehicle from where you are standing, is it still there, or has that been moved away?
Leanne, if we are talking about the same vehicle, it's a black vehicle. We're not sure if it's a BMW or a Toyota Fortuner. It hasn't been removed yet, from what I can understand. It's still part of the debris. It's still one of the objects that is under the bridge there, but from our understanding, it hasn't been removed yet, and it's still there. And it's been reduced to absolutely nothing. It's quite shocking, if you visualize a BMW or Fortuner, it's one of those quite bulky cars, and it's absolutely been reduced to a piece of metal, flattened, Leanne. So it's still part of the debris there, if I'm answering your question.
Yeah, you are indeed. Those were visuals we had on the screen a bit earlier, and we can confirm those were live visuals, because that is the vehicle that is still there, and it's still trapped underneath that scaffolding. So, yeah, indeed, just a confirmation there from Gillian. Rob Byrne, you're on the line right now. I can imagine, I mean, there's been so many calls from a lot of people saying we should try and get people to work from home, try not let them go into the office this morning, perhaps make people come in later. I mean, it's great suggestions, but businesses still have to operate. What is it looking like? Are people making their way into Sandton?
Yes, they are, and they're doing it very slowly, Leanne. Interestingly, though, for motorists that come from Southgate up into central Joburg on the mic, there's been no traffic there this morning. So that's an indication that even from as far away as Soweto, motorists are already either onto public transport, which is being provided free by the city of Joburg in a lot of cases, or they're just on alternate routes altogether. The Mike 1 north is closed from Athol Oaklands through to Grayston, so there's a lot of congestion there coming off the highway. So it's not so much the highway, it's the side roads. It's routes like Athol Oaklands, it's routes like Corlett Drive from Bramley across to Oxford, it's routes like Oxford from Riviera right through to Sandton, both north and southbound, Rivonia Road from the N1 highway into Sandton. Also Pretoria, Main and Louis Botha, Bramley, Wynberg, Alex up in Buccleuch and Kelvin, and even as far away as Midrand, routes like Harry Galon and Lever Road and Allendale Road, the R55, all really being caught up. So it's spreading far and wide. But when you think about it, we're talking about traffic trying to get into the richest square mile of Africa with a major highway closure. So please be patient. Please give yourself extra time to get through it. It's unlikely the road will be opened anytime soon. People are talking about sort of later this afternoon. So it's not only workbound traffic, it's all that traffic all day long that needs in Joburg and Pretoria that's going to find itself on alternative routes and going to find itself in some really, really heavy traffic. Go early. That's what we've been saying since early this morning. With the Morning Live Traffic Reports, I'm Rob Byrne.
Rob Byrne, before I let you go, I hope you're still on the line. There's just a follow-up question, and a question that viewers are asking. Is the Eco Mobility Festival still continuing in the light of all of this?
Yes.
Rob, are you on the line? I mean, it's a big issue. A lot of the roads were closed, brought down, and I believe this now, is it happening or not?
Yeah, eco-mobility continues, okay, so the park and rides are operating with the taxis and buses. The restrictions on the sort of outlying roads are still in place. But the City of Joburg has lifted the restrictions on both Alice Street and West Street. Those routes were heavily restricted to traffic through central Sandton. Those restrictions have been lifted. So yes, eco-mobility continues, but there is a little bit of the easing of the traffic situation in Sandton with West and Alice being reopened, Leanne.
Is that a good idea, Rob Byrne, to keep the eco-mobility still going?
Yeah, I think so, because look, they're getting people from the outskirts into Joburg and leaving all the traffic or their vehicles behind, at least in Park and Ride. So anything that alleviates the amount of cars going into Sandton and through the greater Sandton area is going to be a help. That's what we need today, isn't it? Exactly that, less cars trying to get into Sandton.
All right, there you go. Rob Byrne, thanks very much for updating us. So for those of you asking questions about eco-mobility, it is continuing, and we've still got some of those road restrictions that are happening in the area again. All right, live visuals on your screen. That is the bridge there, the Grayston Road Bridge. That's the exact bridge above where this all happened. So you can see the traffic moving there, Metro cops directing the traffic and making sure that everything running smoothly at this point. Let's take a break here on the program. Lots more stories.